What's up, guys? It's the Brantzen Poker vlog. I'm here with Brad Owen.
Yeah.
All right, I'll see you on the tables.
Yeah, I mean, the nice thing is that I just don't like till, you know. Alright, we got the flush. Okay, he's got a set of eights. We got him. Hold.
Tell him he's got a lot of class, and it's all low.
We're playing 5-5 at the Hustler Casino in Gardena, California. Brad Owen, the man, the myth, the poker vlog goat, is at my table already.
What's up?
I buy in for $500, and the first hand on the vlog we pick up is Queen 10 off in the cutoff. The under the gun limps, so I make it $25. Brad is apparently super intimidated by me, so he folds, but the small blind, big blind, and under the gun call. The flop comes out 10-8-8 with 2 diamonds, and the action checks to me. I make a half pot sized bet of $50, the small blind calls, and the big blind raises to $160. The under the gun folds, and I really don't think I'm good here. The small blind or big blind could easily have an 8 in their range, and the fact there are 2 of them still in the hand just makes it even more likely. I fold, and the small blind calls. While this crazy hand is going on, Brad is on my left spouting out his knowledge on Will Smith albums.
Will Neeme came out in 99.
Surprisingly, he knows a lot. The turn comes at queen, the small blind checks, the big blind bets 170, the small blind shoves for 545, and the big blind says,
I'm not good enough to fold. No, I'm really not good enough to fold.
The big blind flips over kings for a rivered boat, and the small blind says he had an 8.
Oh boy. A little too outer. Wow. Yeesh. Wow,
Show up, play 5-5, and crush everybody.
In the very next hand, we look down at 9-10 of clubs in the hijack. I make it $20. Brad's still too intimidated of me, but the button and big blind call. The flop comes out Jack 8-5 rainbow. With an open-ended straight draw, I show them I mean business, and I put out a 2/3 pot bet of $40. They both fold, and we take down the pot. While I take down an easy pot with Queen King, I want to take a little time to thank Brad Owen. He's the main reason I wanted to start a vlog. He's a talented poker player and a genuinely good guy. He really tries to remember as many names as he can and spends time to get to know people at these meetup games. If you're somehow not subscribed to his channel and like my poker content, I highly recommend you check out his channel. Anyway, I flop top pair with Queen King, I c-bet 1/3 of the pot, and I take it down. Brad leaves our table, but I pick up ace-4 of diamonds in the small blind. The low jack opens to $20, the cutoff calls, and the action's on me. I think that all 3 options, calling, folding, or 3-betting, are all okay here. Let me know in the comments which one you think is best, and make sure to like the video while you're at it. I choose to just call this time, and the big blind comes along as well. The flop comes out 9-2-5 with 2 diamonds. I check, and the big blind decides to come out and bet $25. The low jack folds, the cutoff folds, and I decide to bump it up to $80 with a flush draw and gut shot straight draw. $25 is just too small of a bet, and I want to charge him if he wants to see more cards. I have plenty of equity if he chooses to call, but I don't mind him folding the better hand right now and letting me take down the pot. He folds and we win. After that, I get dealt Jack 10 of hearts on the button. The low jack limps, so I open to $25. The small blind and low jack call, and we're heading 3 ways to a flop that comes 9-9-4 rainbow. The small blind checks, the low jack checks, and the action's on me. Since there's 3 people in this hand, I choose not to c-bet, and I just check to see another card. The turn comes out the 7 of diamonds, and my opponents check to me again. I would guess that after I check the flop, my opponents would probably want to start betting the turn if they had a decent hand. My hand is now improved to a gut shot straight draw with 2 overs, but unless I hit something on the river, there's pretty much no way I can win with jack high. I bet $50, and the small blind decides to do something that disrespects me, my bet, and pretty much my whole entire family. He min raises to $100, the low jack folds, and it's on me. You know what? I'm putting my foot down, I'm gonna hit my gut shot and take his money. Nope. The river comes at 2, and the small blind bets $100. I fold, and the small blind said he had pocket nines for quads. I may just be gullible, but I actually believe him. Ah well, on to the next one. Now I get pocket fives on the button. Everyone folds it to me, so I open to $20. Only the big blind calls, so we're going heads up to a flop which comes 6, 7, 8 rainbow. The big blind checks, and I choose to bet $25 with my underpair and open-ended straight draw. The big blind calls, the turn is an ace, and the big blind checks. The ace didn't help my particular hand at all. However, I'm much more likely to have an ace in my range as the pre-flop raiser than he is when calling from the big blind. I continue betting and put out a 3/4 pot sized bet of $65. My opponent then goes full on Michael Jordan and jams it in my face for $280. That is not what I wanted, and I fold. I add on $300, get ready to strap in, because this hand gets crazy. I have pocket tens under the gun +1 and open to $20. The hijack then makes a small 3-bet to $50. The button cold calls the 3-bet, and I just call. The flop comes out queen 10-5 with 2 hearts. We hit middle set, and I check to the pre-flop raiser. He doesn't disappoint, and he bets $110. Then the button raises to $300. Pinch me, I gotta be dreaming. I have an easy decision to go all in for $445. But now it gets even crazier because the hijack goes all in for about $1,400. The button folds, and I'm actually a bit worried now. As the pre-flop 3-better, he could have queens, or he could have a combo draw like Jack King of Hearts, Ace King of Hearts, or Ace Jack of Hearts, all of which have good equity against me. My heart sinks a little bit as the turn comes out, the 9 of Hearts, and the river comes an 8.
Alright, you got there?
No.
Oh wow. You felt I knew you had to swing.
Feels great winning a big pot, and even better, a few hands later, I pick up pocket queens under the gun +1. I make my standard open to $20, the button, and the big blind call. The flop comes out 7 Jack 7 with 2 diamonds, the big blind checks to me, and I bet $20. I bet small since it's a pair board. This lets my opponent call with any weak pocket pair or draw that they have. The button folds, but the big blind calls and the turn comes a 4, not changing anything. She checks to me, and now I bet $50 trying to target any of her jack holdings. She raises to $150, and now my alarm bells start ringing. She's a pretty snug player, so I think she could have like a few sevens, like ace 7, 7-8 suited, 7-9 suited, stuff like that. She could have a hand like ace jack or jack king possibly, and maybe a hand like ace x of diamonds. Still, my hand is too good to fold here, so I call, and the river comes an offsuit ace. She bets $225, and I'm really thinking what I beat here. I don't think a jack would bet this on the river, and any ace x of diamonds now made a pair better than mine, and a 7 clearly still wins. I think it's time to let my queen go. I fold my hand face up, and she shows ace 7 for a rivered boat. Good fold, Brantzen. Good fold. Now we get pocket sevens under the gun. I open to $20, the cutoff calls, and then the small blind goes all in for $140. This player had just got caught bluffing multiple times on weird bluffs and lost over $1,500 in the last few hands. He was on major tilt, so it's a pretty easy call for me, and the cutoff folds. He shows ace deuce of hearts. Good call, the board runs out clean, and I take it down. Okay guys, I need your help on this next hand. I wasn't sure how to play this one, so let me know in the comments how you think I should have played it. I'm dealt kings on the button, the low jack limps, the hijack opens to $25, and I put in a mandatory 3-bet. I raised to $75. I probably could have gone for a bigger size, but anyway, the low jack limper calls and the hijack calls. The flop comes out 9-10 jack with 2 spades, and the action checks to me. I absolutely hate this flop given the situation. I think my opponent's hand ranges contain a lot of middle pairs like 8s through jacks, 9-10 suited, hands like Jack-10 suited, Jack-Queen suited, Queen-King, Ace-Queen, things like that. A huge chunk of what I think they might call my 3-bet with absolutely smashes this flop. So I decide to just check here. The turn comes out another Jack, and the action checks to me again. Now I'm in another sticky situation. I think I have the best hand most of the time when I get checked to, but there's always a chance that my opponent's checked with a monster like a full house. If I bet and get raised, it'll be awful. On top of that, I'm not sure how many hands I could even get value out of, so I checked with plans to make a small bet on the river if it checks to me again. It seems like every card that comes out is the worst possible card, and the river is no exception as it comes an ace. The low jack checks, the hijack bets $20, and it's such a cheap price I just have to call to see what he has. The low jack folds, and the hijack flips over ace-10. Seriously, guys, let me know what you would have done in that situation because I had no idea what the best play was at the time. Under the gun now, I pick up Jack-Queen of clubs and I open to $20. The low jack calls and the button puts in a pretty small 3-bet to $60. Suited connectors play pretty well post-flop, so I make the call and the low jack comes along as well. The flop comes out Queen 2-4 all spades. I check as I would do with all my hands, the low jack checks, and the button bets $45. I'm not giving up with top pair yet, so I call and the low jack folds. The turn comes the 8 of spades, putting 4 spades on the board. I check again and the button now bets $120. I fold and my opponent slides his cards over to me so I can look at them.
Wait, can I show on the vlog?
Yep, flopping the nuts. Must be nice. You know what? It's not a proper meetup game if there aren't any double board bomb pots. In a double board bomb pot, everyone puts out $10 at the start of the hand. There's no betting pre-flop and it goes straight to the flop. But instead of just one flop, there are 2. Your cards will play on both boards, the betting is normal from there, and the winner of each board gets 50% of the pot. In this one, I have Queen 10, the top board comes out Ace 9 Ace, and the bottom board is Ace King 5. So basically, if someone has the ace, they're in great shape because they would have trips on the top board and top pair on the bottom board. Everyone checks to me, and I have nothing except a gut shot on the bottom board. However, I'm last to act and saw that everyone checked before me. In double board bomb pots, people normally play pretty face up, so if someone had that last ace, they would have most likely bet it. I bet $40 as a pure bluff, and everyone folds.
I got it, boys. There it is.
In the next one, I look at pocket jacks in the small blind. The cutoff opens to $25, and I 3-bet to $80. Again, I think I should have chosen a slightly larger sizing, but the cutoff calls and we're heads up to a flop. The flop comes out 2-4-5 rainbow, and I bet $55 with my overpair. He raises to $135, and I think what he could have on this board. When he raises, I mostly put him on pocket pairs. He could have a set, he could have an overpair like me, but I don't think he would have a bigger pair than me most of the time because he didn't 4-bet me pre-flop. I decide to just call, and the turn comes an ace. This is where it gets tricky for me. My normal play would be to check to the aggressor, but if I do that, I leave myself open to getting bet on the turn and bet on the river. My opponent could do this with a set, or if he was bluff raising the flop with an ace, or he could even do this with a weaker pocket pair like 6s, 7s, or 8s, turning his hand into a bluff because I do think it seems that I'm representing a large pair most of the time. Instead, I choose the unconventional route of leading the turn, and I bet $220. If he folds, I'm happy to take it down now. If he raises, I'll assume he has a set or ace and just let my hand go. And if he just calls, I'll probably just check on the river, hoping he checks back and we win at showdown. He does call, the river comes a 10, and I check. He checks back, I show my cards, and he turns over pocket kings. Oof, I did not expect that. We're on the pain train now, and it's not slowing down. I pick up ace 7 of clubs in the cutoff. I opened at $20, the button calls, and the small blind calls. 3 ways to a flop, it comes out Jack 5-2 with 2 spades and a club. The small blind checks. I don't feel the need to bluff this board in a multi-way pot, so I check and the button checks. The turn comes an ace, and the small blind leads out for $25. I call, and the button calls as well. The river comes another ace, and the small blind checks. Even though I now have trips, I don't like my kicker, and I just check. The button bets $50, the small blind folds, and I call. The button flips over ace-9 for a better ace, and we lose another pot. In the last hand of the vlog, I have 5-7 of diamonds in the low jack. This is a pretty loose open for me, and I'm not going to lie, I was a bit tilted at this point from losing so many hands. I opened at $20 and only the button calls. The flop comes out 6-8-10 rainbow, and I flop an open-ended straight draw and a backdoor flush draw. I bet $30 and the button calls. The turn comes a queen, and I decide whether to check or bet. I think my opponent will often have a 10 after calling my flop bet, so an overcard to his pair won't make him feel great about his hand if I keep betting. In addition, my hand has no showdown value with 7 high, so I continue putting on the pressure and bet $75.
75.
If he calls and I don't hit my straight, I might choose to put him to the test and put in a triple barrel bluff on the river. He calls and the river comes another 10. And now I don't feel like bluffing anymore. When he called the turn, I put him either on a 10, a hand like Jack Queen, who called the flop with 2 overs and a gut shot, or Jack 9, who had a straight draw, which now hit a straight. I think if I go all in, he's just going to call the majority of the time with any of those hands, so I decided to just check. He bets $105, I fold, and he ends up showing Queen 10 off. I was right. He did have a 10 on the flop, but then he turned top 2 pair and rivered a boat. So let's just say I'm glad I didn't try any funny business on the river. And with that lovely string of hands, I decided I was a little too tilted to keep playing, and I called it a night.
All right, so yeah, that went not so good. In the beginning, we had a huge hand, and then, yeah, we just couldn't hit anything, and I think we made some good folds and some good plays, and maybe lost the minimum on a lot of hands, but it was still pretty ugly.
Just got back to my house. I'm sad. I bought pho. I lost $561, something like that. I really wanted to win the first meetup game that I vlogged. All right. Well, thanks for watching.